Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming along. I really appreciate having you on my channel. It's so nice to have you. It really is. So everybody's talking about what's going on in Virginia, and they're kind of saying that we've got a civil war brewing. Well, we've known that for some time, but we're going to get into the details right now, and we're going to talk about things that maybe you have not considered. So you guys hang in tight for just a minute. We'll get right to it.
You heard a while, but that's just what people do. The theory is you always find somebody new. I guess there was a time I believe that was true, but now I wander around this.
Like I said, welcome back, guys. So we all know what's going on in Virginia, right? It's all over Facebook. It's all over the news. Everybody knows what's going on. And the fact is, there's a lot of people starting to think that that might be ground central for the coming Civil War, which I've talked about in several other videos on my channels. Both channels. If you aren't part of my other channel, go check it out. It's Camp Tango Yankee. And, you know, there's a lot there, but it is strictly apolitical. There's nothing there that we're talking about politics, because I like to keep politics and camping and shooting and survival and all that separate, right? So this is my political channel where you get to hear my opinions, and the other channel is my fun camping and enjoying life kind of channel. So go check it out when you get a chance. That's Camp Tango Yankee, right? So anyway, getting back to the story. So we're watching what's going on in Virginia, and it's very scary to see some of the laws being passed. And there's a lot of people making assumptions about what's going to happen next. And these people are making the assumptions based on fear, based on ignorance, to say. And I don't mean to call you ignorant. I just want you to know I don't think you're stupid. I just think maybe you haven't thought things through and you haven't looked enough at history to see what's going to happen next. So let's talk about that. So the first thing that we have to face is that what's going on in Virginia is a potential, exacerbation of gun control that already exists. Now they're just taking that gun control and they're multiplying it significantly. And a lot of people in Virginia are saying, oh no, we're in a safe zone, this isn't going to happen, this is a gun-free, or not a gun-free, but a gun sanctuary, and all this stuff, and well, we'll call the National Guard. That's all bloviating nonsense, okay? That's all crap. What's going to happen, most likely, I don't speak in, absolutes, because sometimes things are unpredictable. People can be dumber than they should be. Actually, most people are dumber than they should be. But the point is, what is most likely going to happen is there will be a slow swell of new gun legislation. And all the people who are saying, you're not taking my guns, you're not taking my guns, are going to find out real quick that they are not taking your guns. What do you mean? Well, what I mean is, okay, you seem to have this picture in your head that these people are going to pass laws making it illegal to own AR-15s and 30-round clips. Magazines. They're called magazines. They're not clips. So they're going to pass these laws banning these things, and the first thing they're going to do is run out and collect them from everybody. That's not how they do things. You see, the people who are afraid of that, who coincidentally endorsed Trump doing the same thing to me with my bump stock, right? I'm a criminal if I own a bump stock. But did they come to my house, bang on the door, and try and take it from me? No, they didn't. And in what is it, Australia, when they gun ban there, New Zealand, gun ban there, when they do that, they don't go door to door, knocking down the doors and rushing in and opening fire and taking the guns. It's not how they do things. They make you a criminal for possessing it, just like you're a criminal for possessing certain drugs. And they slowly and methodically catch people. Oh, I don't know, if you're driving and you get pulled over and they search your car because, their records say that you once had a gun and they find a gun in there, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? They're going to put you in jail, then they're going to go to your house. Nobody's going to be there. So they're going to be able to take all your guns. they're not going to just rush in and take everything like you think it's going to happen. That's not how it works, folks. It's not how it has ever worked in the U.S. Now, maybe at one point in Germany, deep into what was going on, they started, going door to door, but that wasn't even how it went at first. Remember, in the beginning of the Nazi era, they were paying people to, leave. They were paying Jews to leave. They bought them tickets and gave them money so they could go to other places and they could just get out of the country, right? So what do you think is going to happen here? Right? They're going to have buybacks. They're going to start with buybacks or turn-ins or, all these opportunities for you to decriminalize yourself by, surrendering your Second Amendment freedom. So once they do that, then the people who are left with these guns will be de facto criminals, but they won't be sought out like you think they will. What's going to happen? Well, if you apply for, a building permit around your home, and it shows that you have a record of having purchased a gun, they're going to come to you and say, hey, look, we're going to give you this permit on the condition that you turn in the gun that you have. If you do not, then you don't get this permit. Well, you're going to say, oh, well, then I just won't build anything. You think that's how it's going to go? It's not. It's not. If you apply for a driver's license, you're going to have to decide whether driving your car legally and going to work legally is worth having your gun or turning it in so that you can get that driver's license, right? Health insurance. When you go to buy health insurance, it's going to be, hey, our records indicate that you bought a rifle, an AR-15 rifle on this date. So tell me something. Where's that rifle? I need it, or I need proof of who you sold it to. You don't have it? You don't get health coverage, man. Whatever you're sick of, you die of, because they don't care. They're going to do it the slow, methodical way. So this fantasy that we all have, that there's going to be some great boogaloo, that we're all going to just rise up and prevent them from passing these laws, is based on ignorance. It's based on ignorance of history, of the things that we've seen happen. We've seen how the U.S. has done these things, and we've seen how other Western countries have done these things. They don't do it the way you think they're going to do it, buddy. They're not. I'm sorry, and I know this. I sound like I'm trying to put it in your face, and I'm not. I'm friendly here. I'm really trying to be your friend. I just want you to understand that you really haven't thought this through. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the one who hasn't thought it through. But the way I see it, and the way history has taught it, is that they won't sneak. They won't break in and take your guns. They'll sneak in and do it slowly. The old saying, there was a bull and his son standing on top of a hill, and they're overlooking a bunch of cows, and the son looks up and says, hey dad, let's run down and screw one of those cows. And the dad says, no son, let's walk down and screw all of them. That's what the government's going to do. The government's going to just slowly walk in and screw us all. That's what they've always done. And you have supported it in the past. You supported, NFA laws. And no, you haven't stood up to fight against them. You have not argued against NFA laws. And every single Trump supporter on the planet has defended him unilaterally expanding gun control by criminalizing owners of bump stocks. If you are willing to allow, and not just allow, but defend a president, not a Congress, a president for, through executive dictate, creating new gun laws, then why do they think you're going to stand up if they do more gun laws? You see what I'm saying? I mean, you've kind of opened the door for this. This is your fault. It is. You've accepted it, and you've never stood up before, and you won't stand up this time. And you know why else you won't stand up this time? Because your livelihood matters. You know what? When it comes down to it, we all talk a bunch of crap about going out into the woods and fighting wars and all these great things that we have in our minds, but the reality is that we are not going to do that. Because why? Well, I have 5 daughters who need a home, who need food, who need water, who need a social life, who need the world they live in. And it is not as easy as you are sitting there shaking your head. Don't sit there and shake your head, because the truth is, if you think it's going to be like that, take your kids camping. See how long that lasts. See how long you keep your sanity taking your kids camping in this world. Do you want to take away everything that they've lived for? Everything that they understand in this era over a gun or two? You think your wife or your husband or your kids or your family is going to understand you literally getting killed over a gun that costs too much money and you probably never shoot anyway, right? I mean, that's the way they're going to see it. They don't understand what's really at stake, and you're going to lose them, and you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose everything if you go into this fight. Is it worth losing everything? Oh, absolutely. I would give up everything in the world. I love my children more than anything else in the world, but I want them to live in a free country, and I want them to have the freedoms that I had growing up. So, yes, I'm willing to risk life and limb for that. But it's easy to sit here and say that. It's a lot easier to say that than it is to, when we're talking about giving up a gun, a specific type of gun, or a specific magazine. Okay, well, just get 20-round magazines, get 10-round magazines. It's not that big a deal. It's the way other people will look at it. The people who matter to you will look at it. So, it's not what you think it is. You're not Rambo. You're not going to go out and win this battle. You're not. The only chance we have is trying to politically overcome this. We're not going to do it militarily in this particular state of affairs. Now, what's the caveat? Well, the government has been artificially inflating, economical indicators for decades, and especially since the Clinton administration. So, and this includes Trump. If you think Trump's not one of these guys, you're a fool. They have all used federal money to keep money flowing in the United States. They've used monetary policy to keep the appearance of a good economy. We are not in a good economy. The indicators look good because the government is funneling billions and trillions of dollars of borrowed money into those numbers. But the problem is the rest of the world is starting to fall apart financially. All of the signs that we're about to hit a huge decline are happening. And if you think that we live independent of the rest of the world when it comes to an economy, then you don't understand the economy. The majority, the lion's share of the U.S. economy comes from foreign investments. And there are foreigners that we are pissing off today. So we are starting to lose foreign investments hand over fist. So all the money that is being promised to be here to pay back what the government is currently and has always been borrowing in order to maintain a sense of stability in our economy, all of that money is drying up, and it's only a matter of time before it all just falls apart. Now, when that all falls apart, when the government is no longer able to float our economy, at least the perception of a good economy, then we will be primed for civil war. That's when it's going to be time for us to say, look, we don't have a livelihood to protect. We don't have an income to protect. We don't have running water or, consistent electric. We don't have these things anymore. And if we don't have these things anymore, and the government starts walking on our rights, guess what happens? The Boogaloo. That's when it comes. So, this vision that you all have of what's going on in Virginia right now becoming the spark that ignites the new civil war, it's fun emotionally and mentally. It's entertaining to go down that road, but reality isn't going down that road. Reality is that all this is going to blow over, and people are going to slowly lose their rights just as they always have, and there's nothing you can do about it because there's no one on the side of freedom anymore. No one, no party. I don't care who you think you are and what you think you say. There is no party, no major party that is on the right of liberty. And that's all there is. So, hey guys, listen, I know I've pissed you off, but I told you, I warned you when you came to this channel that I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth, the reality, and you're going to have to either accept it or argue with me. But if you're going to argue with me, great. Find your own research. Stop listening to all the idiots that are telling you what to think and do your own research. Tell me I'm wrong, but tell me I'm wrong because you know better, not because somebody else told you to tell me I'm wrong. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys take care. I love you. Peace out.
You heard a while, but that's just what people do. The theory is you always find somebody new. I guess there was a time I believe that was true, but now